Hello there, my dungeon dwellers, and today I'm just gonna make a quick review of Torchlight 2 for the PS4 year 2026. So is Torchlight 2 worth it on the PS4 or any other console that it launched in the year 2026? I'm gonna have to say yes. Yes it is. Okay, let's talk gameplay. The PS4 version of Torchlight 2 runs smoothly except when your screen is full of mobs. You might experience a drastic drop in the FPS, but it does quickly recover from it and it never really bothers me. Other than that, everything else feels good. The combat is as any action role-playing game out there. A variety of abilities to keep it. The game features 4 different classes. The Outlander, which focuses on melee weapons, pistols and shotguns. The Mage, which is also a long-range class, which focuses on magic, staffs, and wands. Then you have the Engineer, which focuses on two-handed weapons, great-handed weapons, and also other pistols and survivability. And then you have the classic which is close to the Barbarian Warrior. It just rips it up. Each of these classes have their own unique skills and abilities. Alright, now let's get into customization. The customization in this game seems fast and plenty of items that give players the right to experiment without making things overcomplicated. Now there are 2 different leveling up systems in place, fame and level. Increasing your fame grants you a skill point, increasing your level grants you a skill point, plus 5 points to invest in more stats, which include strength, dexterity, focus, and vitality. If players aren't happy with their skills, they can always use transmutation potions from the transmuter to resell their skill points, except for their stat points, which makes the game even more forgiving than other classic ARPGs. So this makes it beginner friendly in my opinion. But the higher difficulties at the same time will make it challenging for the hardcore ARPG fans alike. Each class has 3 different skill paths. Sorry about that. So that means that you can create a lot of different builds with different abilities, thus increasing the replay value. World and level design. The world maps are randomly generated, which is cool, and it means that no run will ever be the same. The only exception being the world hubs, which is where you can buy items such as armor, scrolls, and these also locations so you can feed pets and fish. There are about 5 hubs. The maps aren't too big or too small. They are perfectly made for players to free roam and discover new dungeons, new side quests, and mysteries, all without making it tedious for the players. Accessing the side quests in this game is very easy because the NPCs are put in place in which you'll eventually come across them, all without players really having to look for them or wasting their time trying to locate them, which makes it more convenient. The dungeons are clean and random generated layouts to leave players satisfied and not bored. Okay, now the pets. The game reminds me a lot about the Fate series, which is my first ever PC dungeon crawler ARPG. I love the fame system, and I also like how players are given the option to send their pets into town so they could sell all your unwanted loot, gear, or sometimes potions that you've gathered. You can even have your pet pick up potions and scrolls for you. Pet customization is very simple. The pets have 1 collar slot and 2 tag slots. You can also have pets equipped with spells. That makes sense. pets help out by attacking enemies, or sometimes they even Leroy Jenkins themselves towards mobs or even bosses. But you can change this by picking 3 moods for them. Yes, I said moods. Sue me. The first one being aggressive, which is self-explanatory. Defensive will only attack enemies upon being struck. And you finally have passive, which means that the pet will not attack. It won't do anything except, from my personal experience, the only thing that pets do during passive mode is that they tend to just use healing spells if you have them equipped. Bosses are plenty, especially the main bosses, but the ones that usually stand out are the champions. You can tell by their look. Once you kill them, they give you lots of fame, but you could also set them apart by their purple health bar and the aura surrounding them and their mobs. These champions tend to have a unique set of abilities, so be careful and make sure you the story. You silly fools, expecting a story from an ARPG. Okay, I'll get into it without really trying to spoil it, if there's anything to spoil to begin with. The Alchemist, which is a NPC or playable character, was from the first Torchlight. Now, I never really played the first Torchlight, so this is just information that I came across on the forums. While the Alchemist has become corrupted, and now he wants to open up the Netherrealm portal. So what this is going to do, it's going to give all the monsters of the Netherrealm instant access to roam free, and eventually they'll consume and destroy the world. That's about it. Okay, let's talk about this one. I didn't really write anything for it. The endgame. Now, the endgame isn't really that good. I'm trying to give it justice, but it's a bit underwhelming if I may say so. It's basically just called the Map Works, which, you know, takes you to exotic dungeons, and they each give you different stats. They also give the enemy stats, bonus stats, so it's gonna be different. But yeah, you have a chance to cross some champions, while you also have that in the regular campaign. But at the same time, that's all you do, cleanse and repeat. One way players can reach level 100 quicker is by getting the maps that offer the 5 experience bonus. Now, the thing that actually kills it for me is one of the effects that you could get. And don't worry, once you buy the portals to these endgame dungeons, you can see the effects that it'll give you. And the one that I recommend you avoid at all costs would be the 20% decrease in cast speed, because holy moly, it makes the dungeons last a bit longer. But yeah, the other choice you have is playing New Game Plus, and the enemies are going to be a little bit higher level than you in the beginning, but you could also grind so you could be levels above them. Some people like to do that, others just like the challenge of being overwhelmed by higher level mobs or bosses or champions in this case. So yeah, that's about it. Okay, so the game is fun and has lots of replay value, giving player hundreds of hours to sink into the game, so the price tag of $20 doesn't seem too steep, to be honest. It's perfect. If you could get it on sale, that's even more perfect. I would have expected it to be at least $10 more with all that you get with it, but the developers really wanted it to be accessible to as many players as possible, even though it was only released to the PC in the year 2012, but the developers have gone into development and making ports for consoles. So yeah, let me talk about some minor issues. Now the first one is, while a lot of games experience this, enemies clipping through walls, making them unkillable, and sometimes items, when you open up a chest, they tend to spawn or they just fly up and they fall on top of structures, which makes it impossible to pick them up. The buttons that reveal the secret rooms are sometimes not interactable, and this only happens in dungeons that have the undead, like the undead setting layout environment. That would be the crypts, the deserted hallways, and the cemeteries. You guys get the gist. And sometimes when you do get loot, a lot of the good loot gets stuck in between a lot of the crappy loot. So sometimes you don't want to pick up everything, especially since your inventory is running out of space. So you have to pick up and declutter the entire pile before you can get the item that you want. It's a small inconvenience, but it's still a bit tad annoying. No game breaking bugs, which is good. So at the end of the day, if you enjoy ARPGs, go ahead and pick up Torchlight 2. It's still worth it to play in the year 2026, and the PS4 version is really good. As for the other ones, I really can't say. I did play Torchlight 2 when it was originally released on the PC, but I stopped playing it because I was getting wrist pain, and yeah, that's why I ended up stopping. But good thing it eventually came out on the PS4, so I ended up getting it.